Love her or hate her, there's one thing almost everyone agrees on. Angel Reese knows how to get people talking. From dominating college basketball to becoming one of the WNBA's most recognizable young stars, Reese has built a career that goes far beyond points and rebounds. Every game, every interview, every social media post seems to spark another national conversation. Supporters call her fearless, confident, and exactly what women's basketball needs. Critics say she embraces the spotlight too much. But here's the question no one can ignore. Is Angel Reese simply the most misunderstood player in the WNBA? Or has she mastered the art of building one of the strongest personal brands in sports? Today, we're separating the facts from the headlines, breaking down her rise, the biggest controversies, the business behind her brand, and why companies continue investing millions in athletes who know how to command attention. By the end of this video, you'll have all the information to decide for yourself. Before we dive into the full story, if you enjoy fact-based WNBA news, behind-the-scenes stories, player analysis, and the biggest basketball headlines, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Every week, we break down the stories everyone's talking about, separating facts from rumors and giving you the full picture, not just the viral headlines. And trust me, you don't want to leave early. Because later in this video, we'll reveal why sports business experts believe Angel Reese has become one of the most talked about athletes in America, and whether all that attention is actually helping her career. Now, let's go back to where it all began. To understand why Angel Reese is one of the most talked about athletes in America today, you have to go back to where her rise truly began. Long before the endorsement deals, long before the national debates, and long before the WNBA, Angel Reese was already one of the country's most highly recruited basketball prospects. Growing up in Baltimore, Maryland, basketball wasn't just a hobby, it was part of her life from an early age. Her talent quickly stood out, earning her recognition as one of the top high school players in the nation. That success led her to the University of Maryland, where she began her college career. But it wasn't the ending she had imagined. Despite showing flashes of star potential, injuries limited her first 2 seasons, and Reese wanted a bigger opportunity to showcase everything she could do. So, before the 2022-23 season, she made one of the biggest decisions of her career. She entered the transfer portal. Her destination? Louisiana State University. At the time, many wondered if the move would pay off. It didn't just pay off. It changed her life. Under head coach Kim Mulkey, Reese immediately became the centerpiece of LSU's roster. Game after game, she dominated the paint with relentless rebounding, physical defense, and consistent scoring. But what really separated her wasn't just the numbers. It was her energy, her confidence, and the passion she brought every single night. Fans quickly embraced her fearless personality, while opponents learned just how difficult she was to stop. Then came March Madness. During the 2023 NCAA tournament, Reese elevated her game when the stakes were highest, helping LSU make a historic championship run. In the national championship game against Iowa, led by Caitlin Clark, LSU captured its first-ever NCAA women's basketball title. Reese finished the tournament as one of the biggest stars in college sports. But it wasn't only the championship that everyone remembered. Her celebratory gestures toward Clark during the closing moments of the game sparked a nationwide debate. Some fans saw it as confidence. Others called it unsportsmanlike. The discussion dominated sports television, podcasts, and social media for weeks. Regardless of where people stood, one thing became undeniable. Angel Reese had become one of the most recognizable names in all of college basketball. And that visibility translated into opportunity. Thanks to the NCAA's name, image, and likeness, or NIL, rules, Reese signed endorsement deals with major companies while still in college, proving she wasn't just a basketball star. She was becoming a marketing powerhouse. Then, in 2024, Reese declared for the WNBA draft. The Chicago Sky selected her with the 7th overall pick, marking the beginning of a brand new chapter. The expectations were enormous. Could she carry her college success into the professional game? Could she handle the spotlight that followed her everywhere? Those questions would define the early part of her WNBA career. And as it turned out, the basketball was only part of the story. Because once Reese entered the WNBA, the conversation surrounding her became even bigger than the game itself. By the time Angel Reese arrived in the WNBA, she wasn't just a rookie. She was already one of the most recognizable names in all of basketball. And that's unusual. Most players spend years building a national audience after turning professional. Reese already had one before she played her first WNBA game. So, how did that happen? The answer isn't just basketball. It's personality. From the beginning, Angel Reese never tried to be the athlete who stayed quiet or avoided attention. She celebrated big plays. She embraced confidence. She responded to criticism. And perhaps most importantly, she stayed true to who she believed she was, even when the spotlight became overwhelming. That authenticity helped her connect with millions of fans on social media. Every post, every interview, every pre-game outfit, every post-game reaction seemed to spark another conversation. Some fans admired her confidence and called her a role model for young athletes who refused to apologize for believing in themselves. Others questioned her style and felt she invited unnecessary attention. In 2023, Reebok revealed that Angel Reese had signed with the company shortly after NBA Hall of Famer Shaquille O'Neal became Reebok Basketball's president. WNBA legend Allen Iverson, the brand's vice president of basketball, also played a key role in bringing Reese to Reebok. For Reese, it wasn't just another endorsement. It meant joining two basketball icons who had built some of the sport's most recognizable sneaker legacies. Since signing, Reebok has featured Reese in apparel and footwear campaigns while teasing future basketball products tied to her growing brand. Whether she's on the court or in a commercial, the company has made it clear that they see her as one of the faces of basketball's next generation. But Reebok wasn't the only company paying attention. But the introduction of name, image, and likeness, better known as NIL, changed everything. College athletes could finally earn money from their personal brands. Very few players took advantage of that opportunity as successfully as Angel Reese. During her time at LSU, Reese signed partnerships with some of the biggest companies in the world. That list included McDonald's, where she appeared in national marketing campaigns, becoming one of the faces of the company's growing investment in women's sports. She also partnered with Hershey's, promoting Reese's pieces in a collaboration that practically wrote itself. It wasn't just a clever marketing idea because of her last name. It showed that major brands believed she could connect with audiences far beyond basketball. Then came one of the biggest announcements of her professional career. In 2023, Reebok revealed that Angel Reese had signed with the company shortly after NBA Hall of Famer Shaquille O'Neal became Reebok Basketball's president. WNBA legend Allen Iverson, the brand's vice president of basketball, also played a key role in bringing Reese to Reebok. For Reese, it wasn't just another endorsement. It meant joining two basketball icons who had built some of the sport's most recognizable sneaker legacies. Since signing, Reebok has featured Reese in apparel and footwear campaigns while teasing future basketball products tied to her growing brand. Whether she's on the court or in a commercial, the company has made it clear that they see her as one of the faces of basketball's next generation. But Reebok wasn't the only company paying attention. Reese also partnered with brands including Goldman Sachs, PlayStation, Coach, Amazon, Cash App, and Xfinity, among others. Look at that list for a second. Fast food, candy, luxury fashion, technology, finance, streaming. Those companies don't all target the same audience. Yet they all saw value in Angel Reese's ability to reach millions of people. That's what sports marketing experts call cross-market appeal. An athlete who can connect with sports fans, fashion enthusiasts, young consumers, and mainstream audiences becomes incredibly valuable to advertisers. And that's exactly what Reese has built. Whether she's walking into an arena wearing designer fashion, appearing in a national commercial, or sharing moments with fans on social media, she's expanding her audience beyond basketball. Of course, with that level of visibility comes enormous pressure. Every endorsement creates higher expectations. Every public appearance attracts more attention, and every decision is analyzed by fans and critics alike. But one thing is difficult to argue against. Angel Reese has become one of the most marketable young athletes in America. Her journey shows that today's biggest sports stars aren't defined only by championships or statistics. They're also defined by their ability to build a brand that resonates far beyond the game. And that raises an even bigger question. How does Angel Reese's marketing strategy compare with other WNBA stars like Caitlin Clark, Aya Wilson, and Sabrina Ionescu? Because while all of them are attracting major sponsors, they're doing it in very different ways. Now here's where the conversation gets really interesting. Because Angel Reese isn't competing only on the basketball court. She's competing in one of the biggest business battles in modern sports. The race to become the face of women's basketball. And every superstar has taken a completely different path. Let's start with Caitlin Clark. Clark's brand has been built around one thing above everything else: historic basketball performance. From breaking NCAA scoring records to helping drive record television ratings for the WNBA, her on-court success made her one of the most sought-after athletes in America. Companies like Nike, Gatorade, State Farm, Wilson, and Hy-Vee have invested heavily in her, betting that her game speaks for itself. Then there's Aya Wilson. Wilson's approach couldn't be more different. She's built her reputation through championships, MVP awards, Olympic success, and consistent excellence over multiple seasons. That credibility helped lead to her own Nike signature shoe and long-term partnerships, making her one of the league's most respected athletes both on and off the court. Next is Sabrina Ionescu. Her brand has become almost synonymous with basketball itself. Her Nike signature shoe line has been embraced by WNBA players, NBA stars, and young athletes around the world. Instead of focusing primarily on lifestyle or controversy, Ionescu has built her image around skill, leadership, and growing the game. Now compare those strategies with Angel Reese. Reese has never tried to fit into someone else's mold. She embraces confidence. She embraces fashion. She embraces social media. And she openly welcomes the spotlight. Her partnerships with Reebok, McDonald's, Hershey's Reese's, Coach, Amazon, and other national brands reflect a strategy that extends well beyond basketball. She's positioned herself as both an athlete and an entertainment personality, creating opportunities across sports, fashion, and popular culture. What's fascinating is that none of these approaches are exactly the same. Clark attracts audiences through record-breaking performances. Wilson represents sustained excellence and leadership. Ionescu has become closely associated with basketball culture and performance footwear. Reese blends basketball with fashion, lifestyle, and social media, giving brands access to audiences that extend beyond traditional sports fans. And that's an important point. This isn't necessarily about deciding who has the best brand. It's about recognizing that today's biggest athletes succeed by being different, not by copying one another. Sports marketing experts often say that strong brands stand for something unique. The WNBA's biggest stars each occupy a distinct space, allowing different companies to partner with different personalities and reach different audiences. In many ways, that's a sign of how much the league has grown. A few years ago, there were only a handful of nationally recognizable WNBA players. Today, multiple athletes are landing major endorsement deals, signature products, and national campaigns at the same time. And that's exactly what sponsors want to see. Because when several stars are driving attention simultaneously, it doesn't just elevate individual players. It elevates the entire league. But one question still remains. What actually turns a popular athlete into a long-term business success? To answer that, we need to look at what sports business experts say about branding, authenticity, and why some athletes become global icons while others struggle to sustain the spotlight. By now, it's clear that Angel Reese is much more than a basketball player. But here's the question that sports business experts ask. She's only at the beginning of her professional career. Every season brings new opportunities, new challenges, and new expectations. Can she become one of the league's most dominant players? Can she add championships to her resume? Can she continue expanding her business empire while elevating her game on the court? Only time will answer those questions. But one thing already seems clear. Angel Reese represents a new generation of athletes. A generation that understands basketball is only part of the equation. Today's stars connect with fans through social media. They build businesses. They create fashion partnerships. They become entrepreneurs. And they help bring entirely new audiences to women's sports. That's one reason the WNBA is experiencing unprecedented growth. Players like Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, Aya Wilson, Sabrina Ionescu, Breanna Stewart, Nafisa Collier, and many others are helping introduce the league to millions of new fans around the world. Different personalities. Different stories. Different styles. But together, they're helping women's basketball reach heights it has never seen before. And that's something every basketball fan can appreciate. So maybe the biggest question isn't whether Angel Reese is controversial. Maybe it's this. Could players like Angel Reese be changing the business of women's basketball forever? We'll let you decide. Now it's your turn. Do you think Angel Reese is one of the most influential young athletes in sports today? Or do you think her legacy will ultimately depend on what she accomplishes on the court over the next few seasons? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We read every single one, and your opinion might be featured in our next video. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest WNBA news, player stories, and in-depth basketball analysis. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.